We've got a couple of questions that are going to be asked by Dr. Pam Hollick, and then there were some questions regarding the school district, and she's going to try to talk about some of those questions right away. Dr. Pam Hollick. The first question will go to Larry Williams.
Knowing that the school board is planning a referendum for next year, what are your thoughts about the district's plans to build a new middle school?
My thoughts are growth. Everything has to grow. When things stand still, they die. Even a dog doesn't bark at a car that's standing still. We have to move forward. My next thought is how we're going to pay for it. I would like to take a look at community development money, grant money, and other avenues to see would it be better to rebuild from the ground up, or can we refit the present building? I have been interviewing people for the last few weeks, and one of the subjects that came up was the middle school. A lot of people think that the middle school should be a national treasure. It's part of their history, part of their past, part of this town. They don't mind having it upgraded, but they think that we should do all we can to keep it. I have not came down on a firm decision one way or the other on it. I think we need more discussions, and we need to further out different avenues of paying for it. That's my response.
Thank you. Mr. Durkin? What are your thoughts about the district's plans to build a new middle school?
I believe that the school district is going to have to prove to the taxpayers of the village of Glenwood and the greater community that encompasses 167, because it is not restricted to solely Glenwood, Chicago Heights, Glenwood, unincorporated Cook County, that the cost to refurbish, maintain, and operate a school that varies from, 30 years old to 100 years old, that cost will be competitive with replacing a school. With technology that's available in a building now, that your cost to operate it from the standpoint of electricity, natural gas, and just the operation with your staff will be greatly reduced with a new school. But you're going to have to prove to us, all of us in writing, that that is the route that's the least resistant. And you're going to have to spread it out over a period of years, because this school obviously will be here for 50 years. So at some point in time, we will reach the payback, and then we will have to make that decision as voters. But personally, I believe it's time for it to go.
Thank you. I would like to just take a moment before I ask my second question to invite all members who are on the stage this evening and all current sitting members on the village board to please visit the middle school during school hours, please. You're welcome to come at any time, and that can be arranged, but I personally invite you to please come during school hours. And then my second question to Mr. Durkin is this. Schools and all taxing bodies receive less property tax revenue for 23 years because of tax increment financing, in other words, TIF districts. What are your thoughts about the current TIF districts and expansion of TIF districts in Glenwood?
A TIF is a double-edged sword. It allows us as a municipal government to collect sales tax revenue from a development at the expense of all the other taxing entities. But then it does also allow us to, when there is a surplus and a TIF is done right, for us to sit down at a table together and declare that surplus and divvy the monies back up. Last year, the Walmart TIF threw $900-some thousand back to the taxing entities, of which the school, this one, got $300,000. The village of Glenwood got approximately $200,000. You needed the 3, we needed the 2. We got a tax bill. Was a workers' compensation insurance bill that we needed the $200,000. So it's difficult to sit and say that a TIF is always good. It's difficult to say a TIF is always bad. The instance of Walmart, 23 years, it'll be paid off for the liability of the village next year. For the next 19 years, all that money will be a surplus. So that's going to be a positive.
So are you saying that you support the returning of surplus TIF funds back to the taxing district?
You know I do. I just did it last year.
All right. Mr. Williams, I'll repeat it for you. Schools and all taxing bodies received less property tax revenue for 23 years because of tax increment financing TIF districts. What are your thoughts about the TIF districts, the current ones, and expansion of TIF districts in Glenwood?
Well, my opponent is correct when he says that a TIF is a double-edged sword. It's like any other business tool. When used properly, then it works in your favor. I believe that the amount of the TIF is the key. It's the percentage that we give out. I know that I have heard some towns and some places, they have given TIFs as high as 50%. I'm a firm believer that is way too much. I believe that a TIF should never go over 30%. But that's my personal belief, and I think in the person that's receiving the TIF and the person that's giving the TIF both go into this with their eyes wide open. I believe that also that the TIF agreement should also go through with the school. We should bring you in as a partner. And I think in some cases that has been done. But I think that that policy should always be done. That all of the taxing bodies that the TIF is going to affect should come to the table and determine what are they able to live with and what they can't. So we all go in this with our eyes wide open. That's my response.
So the same follow-up question. So do you support the returning of surplus TIF funds back to the taxing districts?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. We have a question addressing the condition of Brookwood Middle School and basically reiterating what I had said to you in my opening statement, and was also addressed by our candidates at this time. And then there are questions about school curriculum and safety that I believe are very specific to the school district, and I would invite you to go to our website and to send me an email. That's the quickest information right now, and I'd be glad to set up a time to meet with you to discuss those questions, rather than take time away from the candidates' questions this evening. Thank you.
To continue the questions, and you're going to begin with Mr. Williams. Question being, what do you consider to be a reasonable salary for a village administrator and why?
Thank you very much. The reasonable salary for a village administrator, I think the starting salary should be somewhere between $80,000 and $85,000 a year with built-in bonuses or incentives. As he proves his track record, as he proves his pedigree, we have to find out whether he's a quarter horse or a thoroughbred. And I think that we would induce this here with a base salary, just like many other companies do. I happen to work for the county, and I'm an administrator over there. I know that our base salary is somewhere between $70,000 and $73,000 a year. But as our performance, as we show our worth, then we can increase. And if we can prove that we are indeed rainmakers. So I believe that the base salary of our former village administrator was somewhere in the neighborhood between $80,000 and $85,000. And Mr. Christopher Nelly did a fine job, and when he left here, his salary was worth the work that he was doing. That's my response.